A warm welcome to Terminal 2, and today we are flying with LOT Polish Airlines over to Warsaw from here at Heathrow, Terminal 2. Today we're flying in their Boeing 737 MAX-8. If that sounds good, stay tuned. Here's our jet for today. I actually took this when we got off the aircraft in Poland, but what a good looking jet. Nice logo too. It was a lovely day for flying, and for those who are interested, here's the details of the jet that we flew on. Terminal 2 was fairly calm. It was about 7 AM or so. I do like this terminal, it always feels nice and airy. I've still got status with Turkish Airlines thanks to a status match. So I went through fast track, or gold track as they call it here, and was through into the main terminal in no time at all. Now there are some nice shops here in Terminal 2, but I'm really not bothered about those. I'd rather just get straight to the lounge. LOT point you towards the Lufthansa lounge, and that's the business lounge or the Senator lounge, and apparently I had access to both. Here's the business lounge, pretty straightforward setup for breakfast, all decent quality and a decent selection of drinks and booze as well. This has recently been refurbished and it shows it was a really nice place to spend some time before the flight. When I checked in though, I got given this little QR code, but nobody explained to me what it was. What it actually meant was that I could get into this lounge. This is the Senator lounge. It's a little bit more exclusive. The food options were almost identical, but there was a little bit more in the way of booze. Now, having not partaken in said booze as I was travelling for work, it was soon time to head to the gate, and I had the privilege of being one of the first to board the aircraft. It's a nice looking interior, very smart, and as you'd expect for a 5-year-old jet, it's in pretty good condition too. A quick seat tour then, and it's a pretty typical economy seat, and obviously we're travelling economy today. You've got a USB port, and you of course have the tray table, pretty standard as you'd expect. What I would just say though is this was all feeling quite tight, so when I had the tray down, it really does kind of pen your knees in against the seat in front. The seats did have a really nice headrest though, which even at 6'4", if it was fully extended to the top, I was able to rest my head against it, and it actually made for a very comfortable experience. You also got a normal standard plug outlet, which presumably you'd need to share with your neighbour. We got a wet wipe too, although I wouldn't recommend sharing that with your neighbour. We did get a lovely view out of the big windows in the 737 MAX. It was an amazing day for flying. We were still being refuelled as we boarded, which is, I think, quite unusual these days. Soon, full of fuel and passengers, we were pushing back from our stand on time. I really like Terminal 2. The variety of airlines and aircraft is just excellent. Over the wing, an Air Baltic A220. Check out the review I did of that a few months back. Heathrow was its normal busy self, but somehow we managed to breach the queue and do an early exit takeoff. You'll see here the other aircraft are lined up at the proper end of the runway. We snuck in and took off a bit further down. I'll go quiet as ever for you to enjoy the very quiet takeoff of this 737 MAX-8. Just so quiet, and wonderful views of Terminal 4 as we get underway over to Warsaw. Ahead of us laid approximately a 2-hour flight between London Heathrow and Warsaw. That was actually quicker than I expected. I thought it would take longer. When you look on the map, they look like a very, very long way away from each other. Anyways, here we are in the climb as we start our northward turn over the top of London. Further in the flight, we got some amazing views. This is the route we took over the top of London and out over Clacton. Absolutely spectacular. Soon we were given service on board, and I was quite impressed with LOT because we got this lovely bun, we got coffee and we got water, and it was all free. And later on they came around with chocolate bars and nuts as well. That's actually a really good offer when you compare it to some of the other European carriers. The flight was beautifully smooth all the way over to Warsaw. Soon came the announcement that we were making our descent, and here we are in our initial descent into Warsaw. Now, having already said the flight was nice and smooth, we actually experienced some really heavy turbulence as we got closer to the ground. It doesn't show here, but we really were shaken about quite a bit moments before we touched down. Here we are though, making our final approach into Warsaw. Very nicely done, and welcome to Warsaw in Poland. So let's do a quick review of LOT. Well, frankly, I'm really impressed. I was really impressed that we arrived on time. The aircraft is new and fresh, everything worked, the staff were superb, and I also really appreciated the onboard offer. It's a lot more than you get with a lot of other European airlines. LOT was also the cheapest between Heathrow and Warsaw, so another good option to think about. There are some cons. The legroom was not great, and I was surprised they didn't have Wi-Fi on board. Anyways, we head to the end of the video following a really good flight. Would I fly LOT again? Absolutely. As you know, I love deplaning via the steps, as it gives me the opportunity to get wonderful shots like this. Thanks so much for watching. Here we are at the end of the video once more. Thanks to those who already subscribe, and look forward to seeing you all again soon.